Hello everyone, I am Andrew Dorn, also known as the Fourth Gun here on YouTube. Today, some more Let's Play LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. In the previous episode, we took care of 2 chapters in one. We did Rescue the Princess, and then immediately afterwards, Death Star Escape. Today, we are finishing Episode 4, A New Hope, with Chapter 6, Rebel Attack. So this is the first of a few vehicle missions in this game, and you may notice that they are handled differently than in the first LEGO Star Wars game, and to some extent I would actually say better. Yeah, actually, yeah, because I don't think there's no real on-rail segments in this game in terms of like the levels. Like, they're all fairly linear, but they're not like, what's the word, they're not on rails like in the previous game. Like, if you remember, one example is like the battle over Coruscant in episode 3 chapter 1. That is all on rails. You could do a loop back for like just a tiny bit of going back a little bit, but you couldn't actually go backwards. And in this game, they greatly improved it, so that's really great. Also, the other day, I was thinking about LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga, and part of me wants to cover it, mainly because it's the copy I have is on the PS3, so it would look a lot nicer. But also, it is, like I said in the previous episode, like, it is its own game, because while it is, the first, it's the 6 movies, the prequels and the original trilogy, they are done differently. Like, there's some new level design in there, and overall, a lot of the issues from the previous games are fixed in that one. So I don't know, maybe it's something where after we cover LEGO Star Wars 3 at some point in the far future, we go to Complete Saga, and with that, then we'll have everything ready, hopefully in time for whenever I get around to getting the stuff necessary to play, to get my copy on the Skywalker Saga. That'd be kind of interesting. Oh geez, so many freaking TIE fighters. I need to break the other satellite. There is something kind of interesting with this level, and really all the little levels when it comes the vehicle levels, not the little levels, but you do have a little bit of an auto aim. Ouch. So that's something to keep in mind, that you don't have to line it up perfectly. Like, you do get a little bit of leeway, which is nice. Alright, there we go. I've noticed that the audio is a bit low on my end. Like, maybe I turned the speakers down all the way for some reason a while ago. I don't even know, honestly. Alright, whoop. For just a quick little note, there is excuse you? Can we? Oh jeez. Oh right, you have to use the blasters. I forget. What am I trying to say? For these vehicle missions, you do get free play mode, as we saw when we were booting up the level. But you can actually, some levels you can actually get most of the mini kits without needing to go back in free play mode. Of course, free play mode is nice because then you can have access to a wide variety of ships, as we saw when we were trying to look at what all was available at the cantina. So that's something to keep in mind. And personally, I've never really felt a reason to go back through story mode unless it was to get True Jedi, which hopefully, if I don't mess up too terribly often, we won't have to worry about not getting True Jedi. That turbo laser though, that's concerning. There we go. And there's the TIE fighters. Alright, so that has opened up. We just need to send our torpedoes over there to destroy it. And each one that's destroyed gets us some Lego sets, which is really nice. Is there something over here? Ooh, yes. Yep, right in there. Come on, get... Oh my gosh. Game. Ow. As you probably noticed, running into the walls will hurt. As you'd probably expect. Starfighters and walls going at high speed. Or, starfighters going at high speeds and walls don't really mix well. Here we go. Oh, perfect. I can show this after I get some bits. So that right there, that is an axis panel, quite different from the ones that we saw in the other missions. And unlike in those other missions, you don't actually need to like press a button to access them. If you just are flying the ship that's required and you fly past the axis panel, it opens up. So that's very nice. So that way you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And wonderful, true Jedi. I was honestly a tad concerned, but it's good to know that we got that without a problem. Alright, let's blast these open. There we go, and let's get a move on. Here we are in another area. I recall, yep, this also requires a TIE fighter. So I think after this mission, you should get the option to buy a TIE fighter from the cantina, and then you could immediately go right back and take care of those real quick. Now, of course, we're not going to do that for this Let's Play. We're going to hold free play off until much later, just so that way everything is nice and clean in terms of like where, when and where we do things. So that way it's just all like there, and then it's like, you know, if you just want to see all the free play stuff, there's that. And actually, I was thinking about this the other day, but I would like your input on this. When I go to do the free play mini kits, would you prefer if I just made it like a compilation of all the mini kits in the level? That way those videos are not just free play mini kits, but also the ones that we got during story mode. Let me know if that's something that you want, because I've been flip-flopping on that for a while, and thinking about running the idea past a few people to see what they think. Personally, I think it would actually be quite helpful. Or if you guys think that would be redundant, let me know. You know what? Yeah, let's just keep going. Ooh. Hello. Alright, if we don't get the Lego sets, we don't get the Lego sets. We're just gonna, like, fly on forth. Ow. I would like those back, please. Thank you. Alright, oh, this is where they're coming from. Okay. Alright, well... Jeez, they are, like, swarming all over me. Nope. Got me. There we go. So, while we're flying around, just thinking about how the Starfighter combat is handled in various games. Like, you have this game where it's like, you know, it's just 4 hearts, but then you have other games where it's like very robust, like you have shields, and then you have like hull plating, and then it's like you have stuff where it's like in Star Wars Battlefront, like the old Battlefront games, there were no shields. There was basically just sturdier character models, I guess you could say. I guess not really, like they are vehicles, but they didn't have shields. It reminds me of a mod for the old Star Wars Battlefront 2 that came out in about 2005, I think, where one of the things it did was on certain custom maps, the fighters actually had shields, which was like a really interesting concept. Didn't necessarily work too well Like the UI indicating how many like points of shields that you had was a bit weird. But then again, that was back when it was like probably like still like being worked on. So I have no clue. It's actually been ages since I messed around with Battlefront 2 mods. I used to be like super into like custom maps and all that stuff. I remember one of my favorite custom maps was one for it was like Knights of the Old Republic. It was, I think the map was called Recon Prime, and you played as either the Old Republic or the old Sith Empire, and you had all these Old Republic ships. It was really cool, and there were so many ships that you could destroy. It was just, oh, it's so cool. I think I took a lot of screenshots of that map, so they might be on my Steam profile. That'd be cool if I did take photos. Because I remember for a while there, I was also like really into like taking in-game photos, but like I didn't know about the free cam thing, like the mod that is basically like a fan-made patch that adds in all sorts of cool stuff. It's like I didn't know about that then, because I don't think that that map required it, if I recall correctly. I think, actually. I don't know. I don't quite remember. But anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Trying to talk over the game, so that way Disney doesn't send me the old 1-2 cease and desist. Because, you know, that's how copyright works. It's like, oh, there's a little bit of Star Wars music in there, well, we're gonna claim the whole video, and if it ever makes any money, we get all the money, as if we were the ones who made the video. It's like, okay. I actually read, or not read, what was it? It was a video that I watched where it was by Tom Scott, I believe, and it was like, YouTube's copyright system isn't broken. I just hit my microphone. No, it's not called that. It's called YouTube copyright system isn't broken, the world's is. And it was really interesting about how like the way modern copyright law works. It doesn't take into consideration all the new forms of media that have been made. So it's really interesting. If I remember, I'll try and link it below and see if I, yeah, it should be easy to find. It's just a matter of remembering to oh gosh, brain to put it up on to put it into the thing. What am I, oh my god, my freaking brain. Ugh. This is what I get for trying to record early in the morning. I'm like, I want to be productive, so let's record early in the morning, but then it's just like it breaks into a lot of rambling. Let's, ow. Let's get that. Thank you. 6 out of 10. Nice. Let's go into here, and we get a power brick. Excellent. I wasn't sure if I was going to remember to get that or not, because I remember having to look up a guide because I couldn't for the life of me remember where it was. Did we miss a turret? Oh yeah, it just didn't come out. Man, remember this part in A New Hope where it's like the friggin' exhaust port was protected by 8 turbo lasers? Not 8, 12. Yeah, 12 turbo lasers. You guys remember that part? Good golly. Also, I will say, one of the things that I always found really neat about the Lego games is how it mixed Lego elements into like a somewhat realistic environment. It's like you have these smooth metal walls and then it's like Lego pieces jutting out. It's so neat. I love it. We're actually only 15 minutes in. These I have an itch on the side of my foot. I hate it. It's probably a mosquito bite. But yeah, these vehicle missions, I don't think any of them are too terribly long. They're short and sweet and don't take that much time. We unlock Super Story, which will be covered towards the end of the Let's Play. Score times 2 unlocked. That is the big one. We got an X-Wing and then a Y-Wing, which is pretty neat. And that, I believe, I could be wrong, but I think we can buy a TIE Fighter. So that'd be really cool. Got 100%. True Jedi. We now have 521,000 Lego studs. And the mini kit, we got 6 pieces. Yep. So we just have 4 left to get, which is real nice. Alright, got 2 gold bricks for that. That is excellent. And let's finish the story. And I believe, I know in the previous game there were credits at the end of each episode, which was kind of interesting. So it's like they made extra sure that you saw the credits. I don't exactly remember if that's the case here or not. I want to say it is. Oh my gosh, just a rebel spy. Or not a rebel spy, an imperial spy. That's really neat. Honestly, I forgot just how like amazing these cutscenes are because they're just so expressive. It's like they didn't need voice acting because it's like they had, you know, that animation and just like all the sound effects to really like sell the whole, oh yeah, there are credits, to sell the scene to you, which was really nice. I just realized that my pen was open. Okay, get that taken care of. And we can actually skip through these credits because we're going to see the credits at the end before we do free play. So it's like at the end of episode 6. Which actually, now that we got that taken care of, we can actually go and open the door to episode 5. We're at 17 and a half minutes, give or take. So we actually have time for one more mission. Here we go, the glorious opening of episode 5. And then this was already open because I accidentally walked past here in between episodes. So let's go here. Yes, okay, perfect. But first, I want to get... Oh, there it is. Oh, it requires 2 million. Oh. Shoot, I thought it was a lot less. Okay, well... Alright, that's something we'll have to eventually work on. Let's go ahead and get that TIE Fighter. Is there any other characters? Probably get Greedo so we have a bounty hunter ready to go. Eventually we will buy all of these characters when it gets to the point where it's like, alright, let's, you know, we need to do free play, so we need as many characters as possible, and also for the sake of 100% completion. Alright, episode 5, chapter 1, Hoth battle. Let's go into story mode. So this one is really interesting. It can be really hard. Like, I remember dying a lot just because of, like, in later areas in this chapter, just because of, like, it's not necessarily unfair. Maybe I'm just bad at video games. But, like, I don't know. There are some points where I was like, this feels a little unfair. Not gonna lie. But again, maybe that's just me. Maybe, you know, other people don't have as much issues with this as I do. I guess while we're going through all this, I would like to mention that my recording setup is a little unorthodox. Like with previous Let's Plays, or I think, yeah, with Mario Kart and then most of Mario Galaxy, Like with those series, I am recording commentary on my MacBook because I don't trust Audacity on my Windows computer. And then I've got my little off-brand capture card, and then my GameCube. I actually don't have like that fancy little like upscaler thing that plugs into the back of a GameCube. I actually have like the video cable like plugged into an upscaler, but it's not really an upscaler. It just makes it like takes in like the red, white, yellow and allows you to output via HDMI. So the reason why it looks all standard definition despite filling a 1080p screen to some extent, it's actually because it's not really upscaled that much. It's just like, oh, now you can use this on your HD TV, which is really nice. And I do appreciate. But yeah, the thing about it though is that despite being really small, it requires power. And so I couldn't find a spare power brick to put the USB plug into and then plug it into my power strip. So I just took the included USB cord and I've plugged it into my Wii U, which means if I ever want to play the GameCube, I also have to turn on the Wii U. So it's like double the power necessary than what's necessary for a one game console, which is just amazing. So yeah, this level, the beginning, oh, you know what? I can do a thing. There we go. So there are all of these probe droids flying around, which is really funny because in the movie we actually only see really see one probe droid. But here there's so many of them, and if you are towing a bomb, then they will try and take it away from you. Either that or just like really annoy you by the fact that they're tugging on it in a different direction, which is pretty fun. Sometimes it can get kind of annoying, but they're so easy to take down it doesn't really matter. At least to me, like it's never really never really bugged me that much. It's like bothered and bugged and just like it all collapsed in my brain. Good golly. Let's grab you. There we go. And then this will be lucky number 7, 8. Doing all of this for a thing, and we will see shortly. And whoops, grab you. Oh, come on. Oh, geez. Let me grab you. And 9. And one more over here. Why are you shooting at a bomb? Why did I grab the bomb? Oh, good golly. Grab you. And now, boom. A minikit has appeared somewhere in the level. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Game. I will say that's the one downside. Like I said earlier, it's, you know, sometimes they just will mess you up. Like you'll think you'll be fine in a cutscene, and it's like 2 enemies are behind you, and they're like, "Nope, you're not safe, not even in cutscenes." So it's one of those like really unfortunate things where if this was an arcade game, it would totally be a thing to drain your quarters. But this is an arcade game. It's just a thing to make it seem like there's more of a challenge, which is always something that I've always thought is just kind of like with some games. It's like there are plenty of games where they think that more enemies equals, you know, a greater and more interesting challenge, but that's not really the case, at least not in my opinion. I think honestly, like a smaller amount of like AI or like very interesting mechanics would probably make for a more interesting challenge than being like, alright, here's an infinite number of small enemies that if they gang up on you, you're dead, so just like fly around and hold the blast button. try not to die as much. I was like, cool, thanks. That's my hot take on gaming. Now, of course, like for my game jam entry, you know, I made a thing in RPG Maker, and it's like I made bandits appear, but despite my best efforts of trying to keep the encounter rates low, without having a really weird patchworky set of encounter tiles, it got to the point where it's like even when I set the weights down really low for enemy spawns, they still spawn kind of frequently. And maybe it was just a series of like bad rolls of like, all right, here are like 30 bandits to fight in a row. I don't know. Maybe it was just, it might have been just like, just an extremely unlucky test playthrough. But it's like one of the things I'm still trying to figure out is, you know, like when it comes to making games, like, what am I trying to say? Not only, you know, trying to figure out the right balance of enemies, but also like how to make sure that they're not too frequent, like give the player time to breathe. But also, like, I'm still really like novice to making video games. Like my main thing is I really enjoy making tabletop games, because those are pretty, in my opinion, pretty easy to figure out like how to balance. That being said, I did make a card game, which is still up on my Etsy shop, where some of the cards are imbalanced, but part of the balance comes from the fact that they're kind of rare. Like, you get all of the cards, but it's like, you know, will you have both the card that you want to have, and also will you also have the money? Because that was like one of the things, was like you had to like make money through certain cards per turn, and then you can use that money to bring in units. So it was like this weird, it was like an interesting mix between, you know, a traditional, like, you know, card battling game like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, but like in a way where, you know, I tried to make it balanced in a sense of like, you know, I want to give you all of the cards, but also like, you know, I want to make sure that the really powerful cards aren't, you know, just there. Now, of course, you could get super lucky when you shuffle the deck and you get those powerful cards up front, but you wouldn't be able to use them right away. Where did that bomb go? Holy crap, I just realized. Oh, great. Let's spin around, get you wrapped up. Please trip, thank you. And let's, oh, what? There we go, thank you. Alright, let's get rid of you, 3, because you're being a bit of a nuisance. And then, let's take care of you. Whoa, you're really close to a wall, what the heck? There we go. And just wrap it around a few times, there we go. But yeah, it's just been on my mind recently, because it's like, as I slowly work on the process of slowing down how many videos I upload in a week, which I've decided, instead of it being a whopping 14, like it's been for a while, where, you know, you have uploads every, you know, Sunday through Saturday for both the main Let's Play and side Let's Play, coming out to freaking 14 videos a week, which is something I didn't realize was going to be, you know, that intense on me to do until I did it for like a few months, and I was like, this is kind of like a little intense there. But I've thought about it, and I am gonna lower the amount of uploads to just 4. So it's gonna be Tuesday and Thursday, same time for both of them. They'll both come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but 1:30 p.m. for main Let's Play and 3:30 p.m. for side Let's Play. And I know that those who might be watching my Jedi Academy series may not be watching my Lego Star Wars 2 Let's Play, and those of you watching this may not be watching the Jedi Academy. So those of you who exclusively watch this series, you now know what's happening. And then I will make I can't really make a note about it in Jedi Academy since that's already been recorded. I could, in theory, open up that project file and throw in a quick little like, hey, by the way, upload schedule changing. Go to Twitter for more information. Which I actually made a big ol' thread. I think it was about 7 tweets in total about changes come to the channel. One of the biggest things being that there is a high possibility that Brain, I'm gonna lower the amount of series that I do. So it used to be like when one series was done, another one came in and took its place. This time around, or in the future, it's going to probably be just one series at a time, because there's a lot of stuff going down around the world, which is really like beating me down. And I've noticed that, oh gosh, get unstuck, please. I've noticed that I've become more and more tired, and I don't have as much energy to do things, which is really unfortunate. Because I really like doing this, but it's just a matter of like I don't have the energy to do it, and it's really, honestly, it's been frustrating for me, because it's like I want to keep making videos, but at the same time, there gets to a point where I'm like, well, I'm just forcing this now, and it's no longer like my way of stress relief. It's now a new source of stress, which was not the point of doing videos, but here we are. So that's why I'm going down to 4 videos a week, Tuesday, Thursday, 1:30 for Let's Play, or main Let's Play, 3:30 for other. And been also slowly working on another video essay that I think is going to be quite fun to make, doing a different, like adding a little bit of, I guess not really pizzazz. I want to do some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Film-esque stuff, I guess. Like specifically, I want to do little sketches at the beginning of video essays, and maybe also at the end of video essays. And then also, I would like to try and do extra things with the B-rolls. So, for example, I'm going to use Nitro as my example, because honestly, I watched a ton of Nitro Ads videos a while, I think the other day, I mean like a week ago, and I've just been really inspired by how he presents his video essays. Like when they're, like in the video he's talking about a physical item, and he has that physical item. Like he, puts on a lens meant for like really up close shots, and he puts on like a rotating pedestal, and it just looks so cool. And honestly, I want to try and add that level of polish into my video essays, on top of, adding in, really cool stuff like, little sketches. So it's like, one of the video essays I'm working on right now is one on Yu-Gi-Oh! games on the GBA, and honestly, like, it's coming together. It hit a tiny bit of a snag, but I think I figured out exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to split it up into different parts because there's actually a lot, and I like keeping my video essays pretty brief. I think the longest has been 6 or 7 minutes. I think the one on World Conqueror 3D was 7 minutes, and that was just because I kind of goofed and had some misinformation, so I had to do a bit where I called in and I was like, hey, by the way, some of this information is wrong. Let me give you the rundown and everything that is correct, or like the new correct information. So yeah, just stuff like that. And honestly, I was like, this isn't my best, but honestly, like, I still did a pretty alright job with that video essay. It's not the best. That probably. I don't know which is my best video essay. I never really thought about it until now. Maybe, just maybe, it might be my 2001: A Space Odyssey, because that one I had to write specifically for, a 5-minute time limit. Like, that was just like what I had to do because it was for a class project, and it was like, it can't be longer than 5 minutes or else you fail. And I'm like, I think ultimately I turned in one that was 5.5 minutes, just because I couldn't get it any shorter. Like, there were things that they took time, and like, that was the point. In fact, there is one bit where it's all these shots of like random stuff in my bedroom, like a couple of shelves and the ceiling fan, and then it gets to like, the door handle, and there's this unnecessary amount of emphasis put on the door handle, and it's all to prove a point. It's like, all that is done to prove exactly one point, and it was about pacing, and just how much I don't like 2001: A Space Odyssey. And it's actually, what's really funny about is, like, I show that video essay, obviously to my nonlinear editing professor because it was for his class, but then also to my German professor, who is a documentary producer. She pretty much agreed with me on, like, 2001: A Space Odyssey and how it's not that great of a movie. Like, honestly, if you're here and you're just like, wait, what? You don't like 2001: A Space Odyssey? Go watch that video essay. It'll be linked down below. Where the heck? Oh, there he is. But yeah, so it's just like, yeah. And then I sent it to my my TV productions professor, and he doesn't agree with me on 2001: A Space Odyssey. He didn't exactly tell me his opinions, but from the email that I got, I could tell that he definitely really likes the movie, but he did appreciate how well together my video essay was done, especially considering the fact that I had to do it in such a short amount of time. And then ever since then, I realized that honestly, my ideal video essay length is like 5 to 7 minutes. Like, 7 is pushing it for me. Like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, this is getting kind of long. But it's like, honestly, I just need 5 minutes. And it's like, write out a script that's like, 6 to 7 pages, which for me comes out to about 5 minutes, oddly enough. But yeah, oh wow, we're at 40 minutes. What the heck? I just looked down at my stopwatch and I was like, oh shoot. How about that? But yeah, so it's funny because it's like in a video essay I can make my point in 5 minutes, but like during a let's play I'm like, yeah, so and yes, and yes, 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 very much, yes, much. It proves that I just need a script. Like I put my thoughts down on the paper, and then I read that paper, and then I'm like, yep, those are my thoughts. But then you try to get me to improvise, and I'm like, what are words? I don't know what words are. What even? But that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Next time on LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, we will be continuing on with Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Bye-bye.